Hey Aries, welcome to your love and romance reading for August 2022. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I know a lot of people like to check out their Venus when it comes to love and romance. So we always include Venus when it comes to love readings. If you're new to my channel, every single day and every single week I do daily and weekly messages and forecasts. Once a month I do a love reading, and that's what this is here. This is, in this video, we're going to focus on love. But if you check out the dailies and the weeklies, we talk about things other than love, all right? Let's see what's coming up here for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus when it comes to love and romance. One more shuffle. Let's get right on into it. We're going to move you guys just a little bit closer. And the first card we have coming up here for the Aries collective is the Four of Cups. So Aries, you may feel that there's yet some to be desired here. You may not be feeling entirely satisfied in a situation in your love life. The fact the Four of Cups is coming up at the foundation makes me feel like you're not entirely happy or satisfied with a solution that's being offered to you, or like how much work you might feel a situation is. Four of Cups sometimes comes up when we're not satisfied with what we're being offered. So maybe some of you feel like you're dealing with a person who wants to keep the relationship together, or they're trying to win you over, they're making an effort, but you may feel like they're just like what they're doing is not what you need or what you want. Like you're not satisfied with the effort. There could be that aspect to the Four of Cups. But for some reason, Aries, I feel this is like you all feel as though somebody is expecting too much from you, or like you're like, hey, I'm making an effort, I'm giving you an inch, and you're asking me for a mile, and so you might just kind of feel like there's not enough of a compromise there. Like even if you feel like you could do more, you might not be motivated to do more because you might feel like the standard that's being set is like, I don't even want to meet halfway, right? Like I don't even want to negotiate this. It's like some of you might feel like there's too much being asked of you, or you might feel like something is too much work. Like, yes, relationships are work. Yes, relationships are hard. But does it have to be so hard? Some of you may find that you're being pursued. You have a lot of options, but you may not be at all impressed with any of the options. Or you may be seeing it as like, it's not doing it for you. If you're a cross watcher, please don't hear this and get your feelings all hurt, because it might not be about your Aries. Just like if you watch readings for yourself, some weeks or some months, certain readers that you watch all the time, their readings sometimes resonate, their readings sometimes don't. So if you're a cross watcher, please don't get all offended and all upset and all sad at what you're hearing me say about Aries. It might not apply to you. But Aries, I just feel like a lot of you are not feeling very satisfied right now in terms of your options or the efforts others are making or how much work a situation is. This isn't something that requires an attitude adjustment. It's not like you're a negative person or you're ungrateful. You just may be raising the bar for yourself. A lot of you who watch my weekly forecasts, you may have heard me say the Four of Cups makes me think of what Rumi wrote about when he wrote about divine discontentment. And divine discontentment is that moment when you look around and you see all these people seem to be happy. They're happy in their relationships, they're happy in their love life, things are going great for them, and you're like, what about me? Like, these people, they're no better than me. There's nothing about them that makes them special. I'm equal to them. Like, what about me? What about my blessings? And so sometimes for me, Four of Cups is like you're raising the bar. You're telling the universe, I want more. I deserve more. And that's a positive thing. A lot of you Aries just might feel like you're done with bare minimum. You feel like you're dealing with people who are showing up and giving you bare minimum, and you're like, I want the spice, I want the seasoning, I want the flavor, you know, I want more than the bare minimum. I'm just gonna say flat out, some of you are just bored. You're bored with the same old here with this Four of Cups. The next card that's coming up here for the Aries collective is the Nine of Swords. Now, you may have some worry around this. You may have some anxiety around this or fear around this. You may be concerned that people are looking at you negatively, or they think that you're being ungrateful or demanding, or like you're wanting too much. So there can be some concerns here about how other people are viewing you or how other people are seeing you. Sometimes the Nine of Swords can come up in the sense of like sleepless nights, like not being able to sleep well, you know, having insomnia, having fear, being worried about the future. And so Nine of Swords tries to encourage us not to make a decision based out of fear, right? Or not to focus too much on what could go wrong, because guess what? What you focus on is what you're going to call in. So if you're obsessing about all the things that might go wrong, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to manifest that. You're going to call that in. So the Nine of Swords sometimes comes up to remind us to shift our attention and to ask ourselves, okay, all right, how much in this situation do I have power over? How much in this situation can I affect the outcome? What are steps that I can take for a more favorable outcome? And then you take the steps and you surrender the rest. I feel like some of you are like biting your tongue or like holding your truth. Like you're in this Four of Cups energy, but you don't want to speak up and you don't want to say how you feel because you're scared that you're going to come off looking like the bad guy. Or you're scared that people are going to judge you or be like, oh my gosh, Aries, I can't believe it. Like, how could you not want to be with this person? Or like, you know, you just might feel like people are going to judge you or look down upon you in some way. And for some of you, you're just over it because it's like you feel like whatever you say is going to be used against you. You know, maybe this person has a tendency to go around and like complain about you or make it out like you're being the bad guy to their friends or to their family. I hate to say it, Aries, some of you are dealing with a person that has a way of even kind of going to your friends and acting like, you know, oh, do you know, I don't know what to do about Aries, and I love Aries so much, and they just seem to never be happy. And so they go to your friends or family like you don't love them, and they love you so much, and they want to make you happy, and can you please help me? Can you please tell me what can I do to make Aries happy? And like it kind of makes you look bad, right? Or people are like, oh, that's sad, Aries, this person really loves you, but they might not see what's going on behind closed doors. They might not understand, you know, why you're frustrated. And so I feel with this Nine of Swords, you have to like give yourself permission to feel how you're feeling. And that's going to be the first step to get out from under the pressure and the stress and the worry about how other people are seeing you. You have to first like validate your own feelings. Like you're feeling how you're feeling for a reason. It didn't come out of nowhere. You didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, I don't want to be with this person. Maybe you're so disconnected from your emotions. Maybe you're disassociating so much to where you think there's no reason for it, but there's a reason for it. We don't just feel a certain kind of way for no reason. So this is a chance for you to figure that out. Now, in order to be able to be very sure about what you're feeling and how you want to move forward, you're going to have to move past this insomnia. You're going to have to make sure you're getting good quality sleep, because if you're not sleeping, you're tired. The more tired you are, the more emotional you are. The more out of balance your hormones are. the more you're going to be in fear and worry and panic. So to be able to have a clear mind and to make good, solid decisions, you need to be rested. So anything that you can do for stress relief, maybe you want to limit difficult conversations right now. Maybe you want to set aside time at the end of the day or on the weekend to disconnect from work or disconnect from people and decompress. Because I feel like a lot of you feel like you're coming into a really big decision and you think you know what you want to do, but you feel guilty about wanting that, and you're going back and forth, and you're worried about all the ways that this could potentially go wrong. You need to take a time out, right? So this might not be the time to make the decision. This might not be the time to take action, but this is the time that you need to disconnect and give yourself permission to process what you're feeling and to ask yourself, when did this start? Where did this come from? And to do the work. Some of you might be able to save the relationship because you might be able to come back to this person with very clear examples. Like, look, I know you feel like I'm the bad guy here. I know you feel like you do a lot and that I don't appreciate it and that I don't, love you, or I don't appreciate what you're giving to me. Okay, but I've had some time to think and I understand now why I'm feeling this way. And you'll be able to give very specific examples, right? Like, there was this one time this, this and this and this happened. And you did this and this and this. And that's all fine and great, but what I needed was this and this and this. So there could be a miscommunication in love language and ways that we demonstrate love. But I feel in order to have peaceful resolution, whether you're going to stay or whether you're going to go, comes down to you getting enough rest and sitting with your feelings and processing and doing the work, maybe even doing some journaling. When did this start? What are the things that have happened that made me feel this way? Because I feel like somebody is making you feel like you're being some kind of an ogre, like for no reason. And it comes from, it could be a misunderstanding and there could be a solution to it, but it came from somewhere, okay? The next card that's coming up here is the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is slow and steady wins the race. As I said, Aries, this might not be the time to rush into judgments. This might not be the time to make huge, massive commitments. But this could be a time to commit towards working on self, working on partnership, and taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, right? The key to success here is consistency. It's not about burning the candle at both ends. It's not about that hustle and grind mentality. It's not about, taking something to the max. Slow and steady wins the race. One step at a time, one foot in front of the other. Before you know it, you look behind you and you're like, wow, I cannot believe how far I've come. I cannot believe how much ground I've covered. And so it's just taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, and being consistent. Some of you are looking at a relationship where you're like, I don't even know where to begin on how to fix this. I don't even know how to begin to leave. I don't even know how to begin to stay. Maybe some of you feel very tied in the situation because of finances or children. Maybe some of you are coming up on retirement, and so this is not the time that you're able to take the financial hit of a divorce or going separate ways. And so there could be a solution here, but it's not going to be overnight. And to fix it comes down to one day at a time, one step at a time, instead of trying to tackle the whole thing. Just take it piece by piece. You don't have to rush this. You don't have to push this. You don't have to hurry this. And you're going to find that you're coming into being able to have some progress here. Making progress, stability, commitment. I feel like, Aries, some of you are dealing with a person, the reason why you're just so disconnected is you may feel like this is someone who's really emotional, or you may see them as they're very flighty, or they're very unpredictable, or maybe vice versa. Maybe they're seeing you in this way, but they might just see like, you know, one moment you're like this, and one moment, or you may be seeing a person this way, one moment this is the mindset, this is the plan, and then like a second later the plan has completely changed. No, I'm gonna do this instead. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm so confused, right? I don't know how to support you, I don't know how to help you, because it's like moment by moment the mindset is changing, the thought is changing. And so Knight of Pentacles says one step at a time, one thing at a time. Don't try to tackle everything at once. Don't try to fix all the problems at once. Just focus on one thing at a time and just kind of slow things down now. This isn't the time to rush or to push through. Knight of Pentacles could indicate also some of you may be dealing with earth sign energy. So this could be moon, it could be sun, moon, rising, or Venus. And so earth sign would be Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Sun, moon, rising, or Venus. And this could, for some of you, be somebody who's coming in and offering like guidance, offering like a neutral space to talk, to figure this out. It might not be counseling, like official counseling. Maybe this is like a trusted mutual friend, or like somebody from your church, or you may be looking into self-help books and teachings together, or going to some kind of like a couples workshop. I just feel like some of you are near the end here, but you might not be 100% convinced or ready to throw in the towel. And for some of you, if you're single, maybe this is like giving up on love entirely. And Spirit is saying, hold on now, not yet. You don't have to give up yet. The next card that's coming up here for you all is the Two of Pentacles. So this is what it comes down to. You're stressed. It just feels like a lot of work. It feels like a lot of work, a lot of judgment. You may feel like a lot of other people have gotten involved into the situation, and you may feel like you're being judged or you're being made to look silly about it. And Two of Pentacles reminds us to try to just focus on the issue, to get out of our head, to stop thinking or worrying so much about what other people may be thinking or how other people may be seeing the situation, and just kind of focus on what needs to be done. And the Two of Pentacles invites us or encourages us to try to bring in a sense of playfulness, right? So if you're having issues with a person, or if you're trying to heal issues that are affecting your love life, it's true that you're going to need some serious, deep, heavy conversations, right? That's true. You're going to need that. But you also need playfulness. Playfulness is just as important for healing and releasing as the heavy stuff is. So maybe you're going around and around and around with this person, and it's just making it feel more overwhelming and more exhausting. When is the last time you guys played together? When is the last time you guys had fun together? Right? There's something that brought you all together to begin with. Maybe you can revisit those interests or those places or those things or activities, or some other way to have fun. Like, what is something, like today, we're not going to talk about the problems today, right? They're still going to be there. We're not going to ignore them. We're not sweeping them under the rug forever. We're not going to talk about the problems today. We're going to go do something fun and see how much you all bond. See how much the wall comes down and you're able to start communicating. It might not be after the first fun thing you do together, but when you start to incorporate the fun or the date nights or whatever, you'll start to see progress. Instead of beating this thing over and over again when it's already, somewhat exhausted and given out. There's no sense in beating it over and over. So a sense of fun and a sense of playfulness is needed here with this Two of Pentacles. try to bring some light-hearted energy into this. The next card here is an interesting card, and this is the Five of Swords. And this can come up in a couple of different ways. Sometimes the Five of Swords is little situations are becoming massive issues because we're getting triggered. Okay? Sometimes we trigger somebody and we don't mean to trigger them. Sometimes other people trigger us and they don't mean to trigger us. Sometimes we're dealing with someone who very knowingly is triggering us. And so some of you may be dealing with a person that maybe they have a hard time communicating. Maybe in their life growing up is like, you know, like they've had to be sneaky about getting their needs met, or they've had to like manipulate the situation, or, you know, because if they spoke up, nobody heard them. Or nobody cared, so they had to find other ways to manipulate people into action, or manipulate, or, you know, pressure their parents into showing up and taking care of them, right? Well, like, if you're not going to make sure that I have clothes and food, well, I could just go, you know, tell my teacher at school, and then my teacher's going to talk to you, and you're going to like a bad parent, and guess what? You're going to make sure I have dinner that night, and you're going to make sure you take me to the store and get me some clothes. You know, like, they may have had to do sneaky little things like that for their survival. And they may still be operating this way in this relationship with you. Now, if you have the ability to leave and you're like, I don't have the time for this, I don't have the patience for this, then awesome. You know, you can do that. But some of you might be in a situation where it's not that easy. You can't just pick up and go, or you feel bad to leave this person behind, but you know they're intentionally triggering you. Well, guess what? This could be a gift for you. Before you react, before you go off, step aside. Journal about it. Write about it. What happened? What did they say? What did they do? How did this make me feel about myself? You know, as far back as I can remember, who is the first person that made me feel this way? Why do I think the first person did it? Why do I think this person now is doing it? Like, what are they getting out of it? So that you can understand why it's being done. Write out a forgiveness to them. Write out a release to them. Write out a forgiveness and release to yourself. Anything you're cringing about or embarrassed about or blaming yourself for, release and forgive yourself from those things. And then write out how you're choosing to feel about yourself and about the situation from now on moving forward. If you can do that, guess what? You're going to deactivate the triggers, right? I'm not an Aries. I don't have Aries placements, but I can tell you it's trigger season. I know I've gotten triggered a lot recently, and I'm telling you from my own experience, this works. This is a very powerful way that you can heal and overcome those triggers. So the next time this person's trying to push that button, or people are trying to manipulate you into something, it's not going to work. They're not going to have that power over you. And you can sit and look at them very calmly, very logically, and say, okay, all right, I understand that you maybe, you know, this is what you're trying to get at. And I get that and I understand that, but there's a better way to reach that end, right? Like, we can communicate more effectively, or we can communicate in this way instead, right? This isn't going to make me feel bad, or twist my arm, or get me to do this thing or to do that thing. Or if I'm not doing what you're wanting me to do, it doesn't mean that I don't love you, right? It doesn't mean that I don't care about you. So this can open up dialogue, and it can take the pressure off yourself to where you're not getting triggered. You're not being made to feel like you're the monster or the bad guy. I think some of you are dealing with someone who just really, really wants you to love them, and they don't know how to get about that in like a healthy way, or in a high vibrational way. And some of you are like trying to make the decision now. Am I walking away, or am I gonna work through this with this person? And I think a lot of it comes down to your circumstances, how much you love this person, how invested you are in the relationship. I mean, we're not all in the same place. You know, some of us, It might be really easy if you don't live with this person. If you guys don't live together, you don't have kids together, you don't have your money tied up together, then yeah, it can be very easy to just up and go. But sometimes there's layers of involvement, and it's not that easy. So the way you handle the situation is going to depend on where you are in your life and how invested you are with this person. But I feel like the lesson that's coming to you in your love life at this time is, Aries, is you have to learn that you have a right to feel how you feel. You don't feel how you feel for no reason at all, and you don't have to be pressured or bullied or guilted into loving somebody. And I think that some of you're frustrated with this person because of the way they're coming at you. So I know this is a lot to kind of have to process and think about. It might be helpful in this instance to watch your moon sign, your rising sign, or your Venus. Some of you may need a little bit more information, or maybe this didn't resonate. Your moon, your rising, or your Venus might resonate more. If you want to schedule a private reading with me, there's a link in the description where you can schedule a private reading with me, calendly.com/amethystangelite. Weekly forecasts are linked in the description. And hopefully you all have a fabulous August. Hopefully we'll see you in the weeklies and dailies as well. Take care and be well, my darlings.